This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener. Welcome to The Gist. It is Monday, July 20th, 2026. I am John.
And I am Mary. We are your smart friends on the go. We read the news, follow the money, and break down who actually benefits.
Let us start with a classic case of unintended consequences. Remember Washington's strict export bans? The ones designed to stop China from getting advanced microchips?
Right, the goal was to starve the Chinese artificial intelligence sector, but instead, those bans just incubated a homegrown giant.
Exactly. Z.ai, the Chinese tech firm formerly known as Zhipu Artificial Intelligence, just brought a massive new data center online, and it runs entirely on domestic Chinese chips.
Bloomberg reports Z.ai's revenue run rate hit $1 billion this month. That is a 15-fold jump in just 7 months.
So how did this happen? It all comes down to software, not physics. For years, buyers stuck with NVIDIA chips because of CUDA. That is NVIDIA's proprietary software platform. It makes the hardware incredibly easy to use for general computing.
CUDA was a massive moat. Nobody wanted to spend the time or money to rewrite all that code. But the United States sanctions inverted those incentives.
Spot on. Without access to Western hardware, Chinese developers had no choice. Out of sheer necessity, they absorbed the massive cost of rewriting that software layer.
Think of it like a toll road. NVIDIA owned the only paved road. The United States put up an absolute roadblock. So Chinese tech firms simply built their own highway.
Now, are these new Chinese processors as good? No. They are demonstrably less efficient. They need significantly more energy and space to get the same computing power.
But here is the power dynamic. The United States sanctions accidentally created a captive domestic market. That guarantees Chinese chipmakers the massive capital they need to catch up.
We saw this playbook before. In 2015, Washington banned Intel from selling to Chinese supercomputing centers. By 2016, China built the world's fastest supercomputer using microchips designed entirely in Shanghai.
Shifting to the global stage, the United States economy is cooling down.
The Conference Board's leading economic index slid 0.2% in June. For context, this index is a major metric used to predict near-term domestic economic health.
The main culprit is weakening consumer spending. Everyday purchasing power is tightening. As a result, capital is flowing away from retail and constraining growth.
Next, a major anniversary in space. Exactly 50 years ago today, on July 20th, 1976, NASA's Viking 1 landed on Mars.
It was the first spacecraft to operate on the Red Planet. It mapped 97% of the surface and sent back over 50,000 images. That specific mission built the structural data architecture we still rely on for modern off-world expansion.
Back on Earth, structural friction is heating up in Kyiv. Ukraine's wartime push for centralized stability is meeting heavy public resistance.
President Zelensky is currently weighing whether to oust his unpopular army head. Widespread civilian protests are making one thing clear: wartime state consolidation is actively clashing with civil consensus.
Also in global headlines today, mediators are pushing hard for traction on a new ceasefire in Iran.
And The Intercept reports Google is actively censoring user reviews of ICE detention centres in the United States.
Over in Europe, Brussels just dropped a hammer on e-commerce.
The European Commission slapped AliExpress with a €550 million fine.
This falls under the DSA, or the Digital Services Act.
That is the European Union law holding tech platforms accountable for selling illegal products. In May, the retailer Temu got hit with a €200 million penalty. Now, AliExpress takes the record for the biggest enforcement yet.
The official reason? Selling illegal pharmaceuticals and dangerous cosmetics. These are products that objectively bypass safety standards.
But let us look at the resource flows. Yes, safety matters, but structurally, this fine acts as a massive non-tariff barrier.
Precisely. The European Union is aggressively penalising foreign platforms to shield domestic retailers from cheap competition.
Combine that with a new €3 flat customs duty on e-commerce parcels. The underlying incentive is clearly protectionist. It generates state revenue while boxing out foreign players.
The irony? AliExpress has 193 million European users, but last year, Europe made up less than 1% of Alibaba's €122 billion global revenue.
Also in Brussels, the European Union just opened a major antitrust probe. They are targeting concrete additive producers over a suspected price-fixing cartel.
The targets include the European branch of Cemex. They are a massive Mexican multinational and one of the world's largest cement producers. Moving to Norway. A solemn moment in Oslo today. The city unveiled a 12-metre-tall mosaic monument. It commemorates the 77 victims of the July 2011 terror attacks. Finally, huge political news from the United Kingdom today. Labour's Andy Burnham was officially appointed Prime Minister.
This validates a trend we have been tracking. The United Kingdom leadership transition entirely bypassed regular voters. It was executed strictly via parliamentary consensus.
And the money is already moving. Markets immediately started bracing for Burnham's promised high-tax, high-borrowing agenda.
That is the temperature for today. The overall trend? Walls are going up. Whether it is silicon chips in China, e-commerce borders in Europe, or political shifts in the United Kingdom, leadership is consolidating control and capital is rapidly adapting to these new boundaries.
We will be tracking all these moving pieces as they unfold.
And if you found today's breakdown useful, make sure you don't miss a beat. You can subscribe to the Gist's daily newsletter for free. Just tap the link right there in the show notes.
Thanks for listening. We will see you tomorrow.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.